Hey, welcome back to another episode of Tune Quest. Today we're looking at LoveDrug by Lady Gaga from her new album. So far, this is my favorite track from the album. I love this chord progression and you're going to love it too. Let's dive straight into it. Let's start with the intro thing because you're going to learn a lot about the chords and the chord progression from the intro. Let me play it first so you get an idea of what we're looking at here. Okay, so we start with G minor. Now, G minor is actually the key of this tune, okay? So just familiarize your ear with this sound as the root, the foundation, right? The nucleus of the harmony, if that makes sense, right? So what we're gonna do here is in the left hand, we're just gonna play the root note of these chords. Nice and simple, right? And then in the right hand, we're gonna play chords. Okay, so the first chord, G minor, right? Now we're finishing the chord in the right hand by playing B flat, D, and G on the top there, which is actually a G minor triad in its first inversion, right? So that's the first chord. Now, what we're gonna do here is we're going to move the left hand up to a B flat, and in your right hand, you're gonna play a B flat major triad. That's really easy because you're already playing the B flat and the D, and you're just switching from the pinky to that fourth finger, like this. Right? So this is like the transition chord, and we're always gonna be using this B flat to transition to the next chord in the progression. So then the next chord is G minor in root position, okay? So nice and simple, the left hand is just playing a C, and in the right hand you're playing a C minor triad. Now we're actually going to move back through the B flat, but this time the right hand, instead of playing that root position, it's going to play first inversion. What that means, it's all the same notes, right? That's root position. We're just taking that root up, we're placing it up there. Okay, it's the same notes. And then that is going to move to this chord, E flat major. Okay, so the left hand, we're just landing that E flat, and in the right hand, we're playing this E flat major triad in its second inversion. Okay, what does that mean? Well, if you play the E flat major triad in root position like this, we're just gonna take that fifth and lower it down to here. Okay, and then we're gonna move back to this B flat, and then we're gonna do this. Okay, so the last chord in this progression is F major. Right? Left hand is just playing that F. In the right hand, this is F root position, and we're gonna play it in its first inversion. But before we land on this, we want to start with the pinky on that B flat, which gives us an F sus4. And what this does is it just kind of suspends the chord a little bit before bringing that down to the third, grounding the whole chord, if that makes sense. Okay, so what we have here is G minor going through B flat to C minor, going back through B flat in its first inversion here to E flat major, going back through B flat, F sus4, F major. Okay. Okay, now what's really important with this actually is the rhythm of it, which is actually it's something that you have to kind of feel. I can sit here and explain the mechanics of it, but that would take ages, okay? So it's more like just right? You have to kind of feel it. Now, it feels good because we're actually playing anticipated chords where the next chord in the progression is coming slightly before the beat, right? If I can try to count it and play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I can't do that. It's really hard because it's coming slightly before the next bar, if that makes sense. And that's what gives it that really good feel. Okay. Now, To make it feel like the song, what I like to do here is I'm playing like a bouncing rhythm in the left hand, like this. So I'm mainly just bouncing, and then when I land on the next chord, hold, hold, hold. I'm just holding it a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm making it feel bouncy and rhythmic. Okay, so that's kind of like the main progression in the tune. Now let's progress to the verse. The verse sounds like this. Okay, so that's the first half, right? Now, we're actually changing the progression a little bit. The progression changes now where it's starting on an E flat, and then it goes to a G minor, and then that goes down to an F, okay? So it's a new progression, much easier in fact, okay? So those are the chords, and you can play it with triads just like this. What I'm doing is I'm playing a root 5 octave, okay? And we can hold these as chords, right? Root 5 octave on the E flat, and then that would move to the root 5 octave of the G, and then the root 5 octave of the F, okay? What is the melody going on here? Starts on a C. It's a rhythmic thing again. Da 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 da, bum 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 bum. Right? C C C C B flat. C C C C B flat. And then as we move to the G minor, it goes to D. D D D F B flat C. Right? And then what I'm doing is I'm doing that little F major, that sus to major thing. It's just a nice little ornamentation you can chuck in there, right? Right, and I first showed you that you can play triads, so we can take it all up here, just play triads in the left hand and then do the same melody. That's easy. So that repeats twice, right? Then there's a second half to the verse, which is kind of like a pre-chorus. It builds into the chorus. Let's add some movement by taking this root 5 octave and turning it into an arpeggio, which means we're making it melodic now, okay? So that would be the E flat, and then that would be the G, and then this would be the F. Now, the melody goes like this. Right, so it starts on a F, right? F. It comes in before the E flat lands, right? And then that lands on the B flat. And then that goes to an E flat. And then that kind of descends. 1 2 1 2 1 2 B flat C. Ornamentation. Again, you can do that up here. Right? So that's kind of the pre-chorus. And then we get into the chorus, which sounds like this. I love this. This is epic. This is so fun. Yeah, let's get straight into it. So it's the same progression we already looked at, right? That we already looked at for the intro. Now, what the left hand is going to do is it's going to use that root 5 octave 5 peggio. Arpeggio, right? So on the G, twice, once, twice, and then on the C, once, twice, and then on the E flat, once, twice, and then on the F. This is like level 1. We're not going to use that because we already looked at for that first progression that there's that intermediate chord. It kind of goes through that B flat, right? Don't worry about that for now. Let's just keep it straight. G, C, E flat, F. Okay, so that's the left hand. Now the right hand is actually easier than you might think. We want to place our hand in this shape here, okay? So you want your thumb on D, second finger on G, middle finger on B flat, and then pinky on D. This is the shape you want your hand to be in, okay? Notice it's consistent and it's gonna stay that way. Okay, so it's gonna start. We're landing that octave, that D octave. Okay, it just gives it an extra oomph, an extra something, an extra little harmonic interest, if you will, right? So we climb those notes: G, B flat, C, D. That's the first idea. Happens 3 times, and then we're on this F. That's when it walks down. Right, hold, C, C, B flat, A, G. Let me play that slowly. Okay, so that's the first half, and then the second half. Right? D, C. Notice I'm keeping these consistent, right? D, C, G. D, C, G, F, G, G. D, C, G. D, C, G, F, G. And then when that finishes, you kind of ride on this F. What are we doing here? We're going up to that, from that A to that B flat. What's that? That's going to that it's going to that F sus4 thing again, right? Right? So, the whole thing. Oh yeah, let's level it up. If you really want to level it up, we want to go through that B flat thing again, okay? And so you want to start with the G arpeggio, and then do a little do, which is that root and the 5 of this B flat chord, before you go to the C. Same thing before you go to the E, and you don't really need to do it going to the F, right? Let's not do it for the second half. Alright, well I hope this tutorial was helpful to you. And by the way, if you want to level up your piano playing, your keyboard playing, I have an online course and heaps of training, which I've now made $39 a month. So if you're serious about leveling up and unlocking the keyboard to a higher level and establishing a really solid foundation, you can check the link below. I'll also put it in the comments if you're really interested. It's only if you're serious about leveling up. I'm only taking kind of like serious students who actually want to unlock the keyboard and get like real results. So check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, you can just subscribe to the channel and you can follow these tutorials and level up that way. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful. Like the video and all of that. And shout out to my guy for requesting it. My guy or my girl, I don't know. Shout out to you. You know who you are. Thank you. This was cool. Cheers. See you next time.